Well, what an awesome crew we have here. Howdy. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody's well. Thank you for being here, first of all. I was going to zoom the camera out. I didn't. Oh, well, won't worry about that. So let's see. I am thrilled. I think Cheryl is in the house. This looks, let's see, where did I see it? That looks an awful lot like Cheryl. Jack is here. And if you follow Jack on Facebook, you know that Jack and Ashley Kay were walking in the Jimenez Mountains in New Mexico, I guess today. But wow, beautiful stuff. Just gorgeous pictures. Oh, so pretty. Paula, good to see you here. Thank you. Robin, glad you're here. I see that. If Samara wasn't around, we'd all be in trouble. I'll tell you that. Linda, praying for you guys. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Yeah, it's great to see everybody. Okay, now, for those of you on YouTube, I'm just putting in the chat right now the information, the Zoom information of where we will connect for our after party. So we're going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it down. We'll do our meditation. And then we're going to close out here. Excuse me, long microphone. We're going to close out here and all get on Zoom and we can chat. Okay. I wanted to do it this way just because this is so effective. And that's really the only reason, is switching over to a new platform I thought would change the energy. Okay. So that's why we're doing that. The Facebook people, it's the pinned post at the top of the page. So if you refresh the page, it's the black and white, you probably, or black and yellow, you've probably seen it. So we will keep this hopefully 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll hop over and we can spend some time talking together. And I'm just excited to do this. So this is going to be fun. All right. We do have a lot of healing tonight, and I did create some slides. So since we're scrunching time here, let's just scrunch right on into this. So thank you guys for being here, first of all. And before we get into that, I just thought this was so cool that over the last 24 hours, 2 people have put posts in the well, now 3 now, have put posts in the Facebook group asking for us in this group right here to remember their loved ones who are sick, 2 in the hospital, 3 in the hospital. And I'm just amazed. I shouldn't be amazed, but I am, that this group now is being known amongst our Facebook group as a healing center. And one of the things that we can talk about maybe more if you guys want to, I won't go into it in this version, but in the after group, if you guys want to talk about some current stuff, and just to know that we are creating a healing place for whatever is in front of us. We've got this little harbor. We can pull in out of the wind and we can juice our batteries. We're like a Tesla charging station for energy. And I love that. I just love that. That is so awesome. So thank you for all of you making this possible, because it's all of us. It always has been the group. So thank you guys so much. All right. Yeah, back to here. So let's talk about these folks who have come to us asking for some healing. Lauren's grandma, and her post was really touching because she said her grandma was admitted to the hospital and said lungs. So I'm presuming COVID, although she didn't specifically say, and said that she was one of the only ones left who had raised Lauren. I just thought, oh, and Lauren is so young. So Lauren, I don't know if you're on tonight, but we are just wrapping our arms around you. And sending your grandma. We'll definitely include her in the little meditation here for sure. And then Morgan, who lives down under, Uncle Mike having complications of some gallbladder issues. And then Linda put in late this afternoon that the kid's dad, Tonya and Kary's dad, recently diagnosed with cancer. And it's, I guess it's esophageal stomach area. So obviously that family is very concerned right now as well. So those are the three that came to the group. I can imagine that you guys have more. If you want to go ahead and drop them into the chat, go ahead and do that now. If you're, I don't know, if you have somebody in your family, friends, coworkers who are struggling, and even if you just want to say me, that's sufficient, right? We're just connecting some energy, connecting our little grid. And or you can just drop their name in, or you can drop initials, you can make it generic, you can make up a name, you can do whatever you want. Energy knows what you're after. But that would be a nice little touch point for us to connect and be on the same page, because we will here in just a minute. Yeah, and that will be a place where we can connect. I know the YouTube folks, I think, can't see the Facebook folks. I'm not sure how that works on YouTube, but we've got a lot of good posts coming in. So just drop your loved ones in there, and even folks that are hurting too. Wow, friend whose sister passed suddenly a month ago. Her sister was a young mother. Add Ryan and Ingrid Powell. Yes, Robin, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. Several work colleagues have COVID BA5, some very sick with complications requiring treatments. Nick, Michelle's cousin. DS, addiction. Thank you, Brenda. DS thanks you as well. You know, it's cool because Morgan said that, I think it was Morgan and Lauren said that they were reading this to their family. I think it was Morgan, and said that they felt the energy, felt the love. So that was just so cool. So cool. Now, the other thing that I thought we would just touch on for a minute is just the general sense of angst. I have heard it so many times this week. It's just been coming through so much. So I thought, let's just take a minute, and I'm going to kind of, in a way, tell you stuff you already know, but let's just remind ourselves that as things continue to ramp up and there's more uncertainty, clearing. Dominique had a great post in our Facebook group. I hope you guys have seen it, of a campfire that he said was going until midnight last night. Got up this morning, a couple of logs there were still smoldering, and he said it was just like calling him over to do some more work, to do some releasing in the smoldering ashes of the last night's fire. Thought that was so cool. Clearing. So what we have to do now before we do our meditation, so let's just right now, we have to clear our space. And so just take a couple of good, deep, healthy, rejuvenating, suck it up and blow it out breaths. You do them on your own. Just clear. You can do a couple of, like, these are some of Himmet's. I'm going to zoom this camera out. Y'all stand by. I wanted to do that before we got started, and So there we go, right? Okay. For some reason, this over here. Okay, I think, yeah. So a couple of things you can do. These are some little chair Kundalini exercises. This is great. Good spinal twist, right? You just put your hands on your shoulders, and just pivot. That's a really good one. When you're doing these, if you want to follow the Kundalini way of doing them, you focus, you close your eyes, but you focus your thought, focus your energy right here, your third eye. But this is a really good one. Good chair exercise. One of the ones that really gets things going with Kundalini, now better to do this cross-legged, but you can do it in a chair. I mean, these are little office exercises too. And it's just a little back bend. So that's a good one. And then the neck rolls are always good. Go around maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times like that, and you can do it back the other way. Switch. Those are great. And then if you have room, you can put your arms up at a 90-degree angle, and then you can close your eyes. You can put your hands up like this, and then do the breath of fire. And if you've never done the breath of fire before, you pant like a dog. Think of doing that. And then just close your mouth. They call that one the aura cleanse. Puts energy up here. So those are just some things that you can do to clear. Wow, I love what you guys are putting in the post. Let me catch up with those for a second. Somebody says, such a hard one, hugs. Throat issue that's causing coughing fits that won't go away for 2 years. Yeah, let's mention that for sure. Victims of Ukraine. Just could you imagine? Son Devin, some positive energy his way that he will start doing what he needs to live a happy, healthy life, please. Wow. Oh, that's Tonya. Okay. Got it, Tonya. Hi, Lynn. I'm checking over on Facebook to see because some of the things don't come over. Great. Sure will, Tonya. Thank you for being here too, by the way. Okay. So clearing is kind of the first thing, right? I mean, when you live in an energetic state, you've got to be clear. And this stuff is piling up. So clearing is so important now. The other thing is physical exercise. Just before we got started here, I climbed the hill back behind, and it just makes such a difference. I've been sitting over here for a good chunk of the afternoon, got a lot of stuff done today, but was sitting. So got up and moved before doing this, and it just completely changes your state. So that is huge. Obviously, we have to watch our diet. We have to watch what we consume. Be careful what goes in your mouth. And I mean, especially the things that don't help. Podcast 300 has a meditation that you can listen to. The other thing I think we all need to do, and I mean, I'm sorry to say this, I truly am, but I think we really need to adjust our expectations. I think I put in the podcast I put in something, maybe it's fun astrology for tomorrow, but I heard this person who claimed, now this is online, so don't, take it for that, what it is. But it was a young lady who claimed to be a government employed consultant in food supply, I guess, food supply chain. Well, I made that camera not a good did for this, but I don't want to do that for the whole thing. But anyway, she was saying the grocery store shelves are not going to look the same this end of this year as they do now. So we have to be careful with that. So resetting expectations, I think, is something that we just need to notch it down. Things are not the same. They may never, ever be the same. And we have chosen to be here. So do what you feel you need to do. Stop eating processed foods. Do what you feel you need to do. And just go inside. Use the intuition, the voice, the stuff we've got on the current Subconscious Mind Mastery podcasts. Follow that. And then the other thing is the reality check is basically just saying, which reality are you going to believe? It's what Fred and I talked about when we did our podcast. He was saying, get your reality from something besides the buzzsaw. So the reality check on here is just saying, where am I getting my reality? What is creating my reality? Is it coming from me or is it coming from something else? And right now, we've got to bring it in. Remembering that God is in control. We chose this, and that what we're doing right here is the truly only answer to the dilemma. Hang on just a second. Sorry, I just overshot that thing, and the old cameraman in me just couldn't handle that for the rest of the night. Sorry. So those are some things. I was going to spend a few minutes talking about neurochemical processing in our brains, because I've heard, and we've seen it tonight, people talking about depression. We can expand this on the after group if you guys are interested. You'll have to let me know. That's for you guys. That's your chat. I'm just going to hang out with you. But if you want, we can talk more about serotonin, its role in depression, and how we can get out of depression, or what spirals us back into more depression. And I can tell you, I mean, when I sit here and edit all this stuff that that we create in the booth, and then we come down here and edit it, me and this laptop right here. And when I sit there for a long time, my whole body just starts to really slowly kind of and that's when it's time to get up and get moving. So movement is a huge, huge piece of it. How we fuel this machine is also a big, huge part of it. So these are things, if you guys want, we'll talk about that. So in the after group. So we've had a few more come in here of, let's see. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind here, but I think you guys have seen some of these posts here. Okay. So let's just, isn't that the truth? Isn't that just so refreshing? Oh, it feels so good. 5-mile bike ride. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right. So we'll talk more in the Zoom on this. In a way, these are going to be some exciting times, and they're going to be challenging times, most likely. And I really honestly still say that this right here is the only solution, the only way through. And it will be huge. I had somebody who's been a longtime podcast listener a while back comment something to me that won't go into. It was kind of a private communication, but it was basically just saying, I don't quite connect with what we're doing here. Like, it's totally fine. It's an energetic thing. And I mean, we've grown from we got about 40 people on tonight. Well, I mean, we started with 6 or 8, Michelle and Lynn helped me kind of get this thing off the ground. Michelle's been here for every one of them. Melissa's been here from all the way through. And this is it. I mean, we're making a difference. I mean, look at what's happened. Not only ourselves, but now in our own little group, we have become, I mean, people are saying, hey, would you guys send us some energy to my family? That's a big deal. That means it's working. You bet it's working. Dr. Emoto and his water, right? So we can talk about that some more if you guys want to, because I learned a lot when I went through my depressive episodes after my 2 divorces, and learned a lot about neurochemistry and how that stuff works. And it really is, the human body is absolutely fascinating, but there are a couple of times when it sabotages itself, and depression is one of those. Cancer is another. Knowing how that serotonin depletes and how to rebuild it is the key to getting yourself out of depression by yourself. And we can talk about what the medications do too. So let's, wow, we've just got some great requests tonight. You guys are so cool. And I know there are people in your world who you care very much about in various places who are hurting. We've heard of COVID tonight. So let's just tune in here. I'm going to put this slide up. I love this. I still love this. From the wisest man in the Bible, King Solomon. Guard your heart. It is truly everything. So maybe we just look at the little girl. Samara will definitely remember your mom too. So all the people that have been mentioned, Tom from Catherine. Maybe just looking at that little girl and thinking about the word heart, my heart. Guard my heart. In a crazy world. Let's connect with each other, huh? Maybe like we do, touch your phone, touch your computer. Let's really tune in with each other. Let's, like, if every other healing convergence we've come together, that you've come and I've come with level 5 energy, like 5, let's make our best meeting a 5, and let's take it up tonight to 8. Okay? That right there changed the vibe, didn't it? Wow. Anybody else feel that? Man, Maybe just focusing on her head, the glow. Maybe you have one hand on the computer and one hand on your heart. Or maybe your hands are like hers in your lap. Or a hand in your lap. You may not have the exact mental image in mind of one of Dr. Emoto's water droplets. If you don't, just think of a snowflake. It's not far off. And I love that one that we found back in the early days of this. Michelle, you remember this, when we found Dr. Emoto had done a remote session with his water, and it changed the crystals remotely. That's why this is so amazing every Sunday night. And it's why it has become such a boost for us to prepare our week. So what we're doing is we're changing the very crystals because we're sending love. So whatever is in your space, whoever is sick, and I'm not minimizing that because several are seriously sick tonight. For those facing COVID, who you know. For those who are depressed. For those who are off track and not knowing how to get back on track. For yourself and whatever you are feeling. For friends who are used to be together and now they're not. Relationships. Other changes. Worry. All of it. Just leave it in that little girl's lap. Use her as an altar now. Let's energize. That's our common thread. Let's put all of those concerns, all of those people, all of our worries, all of the angst in the world, expand it out. The people who have mercilessly been bombed since February 24th. For our own country and all of its challenges. Just lay it all right there. And like we do, we gather up our energy and we send it out. Well, she's big enough to handle the whole world. So in your own way, just envision humanity in her lap. And that makes it real easy to just focus your love right there. So in her lap, are all the folks that have been mentioned tonight in the chat, on the slides, in the Facebook group, the YouTube group. All the names, all the issues from us are there. But let's send the world the same healing. You can't help look at her lap without seeing the words, "I guard my heart." And that may be our biggest job and challenge, is we leave the world's hurts at the point of our sending energy, and then we guard our heart. Don't let it get too far away from you right now, these days. You need to keep it in. Keep it protected. It's the ultimate airplane scenario. You can't help anyone else if you can't breathe. Put your mask on first. And then look at the peace that's reflected there, the stillness, the simplicity, the serenity. Don't we wish for that? She's so calm. As she holds the world's woes and challenges and illnesses. And then let's think of each other. Scroll through your chat there, whether you're on YouTube, you have those chats, or if you can see all of them. Scroll through the Facebook chats as much as you can, as much as it will let you, and just pick a couple of people, or maybe others who have just come to mind that you've befriended here, and now you're very much familiar with them. And send them love. Send them special love. Doesn't matter if you know what's going on in their world or not. Some of you may. Doesn't matter if you don't. Send them love. And now together, let's just picture like our little girl is kind of sitting up on a hill. It looks like she is. And we are all gathered around her together. We step into the circle and we hold hands together. And form a circle around, sending energy straight into her. All of our focused energy going straight into her. Can you feel it? Can you feel the energy of the person across from you as their energy comes right directly at you too? The energy of the person whose hand you are connected with next to you. Those of you coming in August, this is a dress rehearsal. And then picture in your mind that Dr. Emoto has crashed our party from the other side and slipped a glass of water right at her feet. All this time, That water has been feeling our love. And the crystals are changing. They look like snowflakes. They're happy. They're light. They have beautiful symmetry. Sacred geometric shapes all through the water. And as you look at her serenity one more time, she's looking down. We've placed everyone at her feet, the object of her gaze. And I'm thinking about the war-torn areas, the countries that are changing governments, people protesting, just all the things, all the turmoil. And yet look at her. She's not fazed by any of it. And let's think of that peace for the whole planet now. Her peace transferred to our Earth. That serenity to the whole crazy planet. And now let's move our group in right to her. So we're all now shoulder to shoulder. And she's within arm's length in front of all of us. And with your arm on the shoulder, around the shoulders of the person next to you, we form a big group hug. And the love intensifies. And the energy intensifies. I hope you can feel it. It is so strong here. Just sit with the energy for a minute, then we'll be done. But this is it. This is setting up our week. We need this. There are several in our group who need this. Just roll your head back and forth a little bit. Put your hand on your heart if you'd like. Solar plexus, throat, third eye, crown, if you'd like. And just start to come back. I was unprepared for that, sorry. You know, that level of energy only happens when we're together. Just have to sit with it, don't we? It really is incredible. And I know one of the things that we've all wanted to do is after this to kind of stay in the moment here and talk. Like when we're here, we'll be doing this. I've got a place picked. I got a couple of places picked. Got about 3 or 4. There's a big group there that week. I've got several sandbagged. And if they don't work at the lake, we'll come up here by the river in town. But where we're all sitting around in a big circle talking after one of these meditations is going to be really powerful. So let's do that now. Let me put again for the YouTube folks, I'll put it there for you. And then hopefully those of you in Facebook will see, I just put it in Facebook as well. Or the Facebook folks can go to the top of the Facebook group and it's there as a pinned post. It's the black and yellow graphic. So hopefully those of you on YouTube see it. I think what you do is you can click on that. It should be an active link. I made the passcode 3737. We will see you guys over on Zoom and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Love you guys. We'll see you over there.